Welcome back, folks. Today we'll take a look at one of the most annoying, if not the most annoying, personal mission in the game. Medium Tech Mission number 12, the Incinerator. Now this mission requires you to set on fire 2 higher tier enemy vehicles, or 1 higher tier enemy vehicle on fire twice. So basically super RNG based, and it has pissed off a lot of players, myself included. So it took me about 4 months to complete this mission. Yeah, it's a rough mission. Now the obvious problem with this mission is the RNG. Every engine hit is about 10 to 15% chance to catch on fire. So you could just kill a full health target just by shooting at the engine block, and they will never be set on fire because your dice roll. So you just got unlucky and you just killed the enemy target outright and they never caught on fire even if you destroyed their engine. So that really sucks. Now you could say that if you destroy the fuel tank module on enemy vehicles, they could be caught on fire and you complete this mission. That's good. But fuel tanks are harder to locate than engine blocks because engine blocks are always at the back of vehicles with center mounted turrets. Or if you have a rear mounted turret vehicle, then the engine block is in the middle of the vehicle. So you can know where the engine block is. Whereas fuel tanks are harder to locate because different nations place the engine block in the back while placing the fuel tanks sometimes in the front, sometimes in the sides, sometimes in the rear. So it's not definitive where the fuel tanks are. So yeah, fuel tanks are viable, but it's hard to locate where the fuel tanks are. So that sucks. Here's a fun example. The ISU 152 has a fuel tank to the directly left of the driver. So to the left frontal plate is a big fuel tank. How the hell do you know that? Well, unless you watch real ISUs in life, I guess, but it's so hard to locate fuel tanks, right? So that sucks. Now, there's a change to transmissions since patch 9.7 or 9.8, but where lower plate hit from the front of German tanks will damage the engine because that's where the transmission is, but it will never set them on fire. So originally, before patch 9.8, you can shoot at the lower plate of Tiger 2s, Yak Tigers, E50s, Tiger 1s in the lower plate, and they will be set on fire. But now they changed it so you just damage the engine and never be caught on fire, so that sucks. Also, remember, it's a higher tier enemy vehicle, so you cannot just swarm and just YOLO rush. That's not gonna work. You're going to get killed. You are in a bottom tier vehicle, so do not YOLO too hard. If you YOLO too early, you get killed. If you YOLO too late, there's no more health left. So no more health left for you to chip away at your opponents. So this mission, ugh, boy. As you can see, I got lucky with this Super Pershing. He's distracted, and perfect hit, or perfect lucky hit to the fuel tanks. Destroyed it, and he caught on fire. So it's a luck. It's a luck of a draw. So you have to do all of that. All the YOLO rush, perfect timing on the YOLO rush, the perfect shots into the engine block or destroy the fuel tanks, and no hits to transmission because that does not work, yada yada yada. And it's a bottom tier game. So you have to do all of that twice. So yeah, this mission really blows. It really sucks. So as you can see, I hit the engine block or the fuel tanks of the Super Pershing and he caught on fire. So I thought to myself, I could do this. So constantly shoot at the engine block, the rear end of vehicles with center mounted turrets, like this T-28 prototype. So aim for the back, hit all the engines or the side, but never caught on fire. So it's an RNG based mission. It sucks. So I'll try again with this T-28 and IS-6. He's turning, holy crap. So he's repaired the tracks, back off. Gold shell, likely from the IS-6. So the T-28 is looking. He turns towards the AMX CDC. Alright, shoot at the ass end of this vehicle. Just burn, please. Damn it. So go towards the IS-6. So poke back, Be patient. Okay, he's not looking. Alright. Down to shot. Keep hitting the engine block. Still has not caught on fire. Okay, he has no more health, so shooting at him does not do anything, but whatever. Let's go. Just for the kill, whatever. So let's try to finish this T-28. Engine hit. Engine hit. Damn it! Come on! It's a 10 to 15% chance to catch on fire, but it never works. So, god damn it. That Super Pershing hit was the fuel tanks. I checked. So it's pointless to shoot this Tiger, but whatever. We shot him anyway. And finally, onto the A44. Now the A44 has a rear mounted turret, so the engine block is in the middle. So shooting at the back does not go towards the engine. But I hit his fuel tanks. I destroyed his fuel tanks with this autoloader. So that was super lucky. But this mission really sucks. Ugh. And there you go, folks. The end of this disgusting piece of crap, sickening mission. It's so gross and awful, but it's finally over. So thank God. Now, I have a few tips for you, even though it's mostly RNG based mission. So try to shoot the engine block if you can. Now, engine blocks are located at the ass end of vehicles with center mounted turrets. So every vehicle that's based off the FT-17, so T-29s, the Tigers, the Panthers, the Yak Tigers, the German tanks, the Russian tanks like the KV-4s, the KVs, the IS, whatever. So modern tanks with center mounted turrets have the driving compartment in the front, the fighting compartment in the middle, and the engine block in the back or the ass end. So try to flank around and shoot the ass end of these vehicles. Now, if you face rear mounted turrets vehicles, then try to shoot the middle. So that's where the engine block is. So the layout is driving compartment, engine block, fighting compartment. So the engine block is in the middle. Now, as for fuel tanks are sporadic on different vehicles of different nations. So some nation placed them at the front underneath the driver's foot. Some placed it at the sides. Some placed them at the rear. So it's difficult to tell what the fuel tanks are. And you have to damage and then destroy the fuel tanks for the enemy to catch on fire. So it's a crapshoot. So you do not know if you hit the fuel tanks or damage it or not, unless you have the commander skill thing. But whatever, nobody has that. So it's a hard crapshoot of trying to take out the fuel tanks. Now, as you saw with the ISU example, the ISU has a really weird fuel tank. It's located directly to the left of the driver. So the driver sits in the front at the left side. Then is the gun breech, right? But the fuel tank is to the left of his face. So basically, if the tank gets shot in the left, or to the port side of the tank, so if it gets hit and the fuel tank ignites, basically driver becomes Harvey Dent. So what kind of crappy fuel tank placement is that? So go watch the ISU Chieftain's Hatch video, under the Chieftain's Hatch video, and you can see there's a fuel tank directly to the left of the driver's face. So he becomes Harvey Dent if the tank destroyer ever gets hit in the port side. So that's very funny. So as I'm trying to say, fuel tanks are sporadic. It's hard to locate. So it's a luck of the draw. Do not rely on it. But if you could damage it and destroy it, then props to you. So that's awesome. Now, transmission hits are no longer set on fire. So that's a buff to German vehicles like the Tiger 2, the Tiger, the Yak Tiger, the E50, whatever. So lower plate hit will damage the transmission, therefore damage the engine, but it's never going to catch on fire. So that's a buff to those vehicles and a nerf to this mission, so it's harder. And remember, you're bottom tier, so do not YOLO rush too early. If you YOLO rush too early, you get killed. If you YOLO rush too late, then there's no more health left on your opponent's side, or your teammates get swarmed over and you cannot YOLO rush anymore. So you have to time your flanking and hit them in the rear. So it's a timing option. And finally, you have to time everything. So do the 4 previous steps twice. So catch on fire twice. That's what really sucks about this mission. So, yeah, you can try to play. Now, I recommend you play vehicles with high rate of fire, like Sherman EZ-8, the Cromwell, the Comet, any tanks with autoloaders like the T-29, T-29, what the hell am I talking about? The T-69, the Škoda T-25, and the Lorraine 40T. So these vehicles with autoloaders, if you flank around and constantly shoot at the engine block, you can catch somebody on fire. So for this mission, for the Stug 4, I did it in the Sherman EZ-8. I did it for the T-28 concept in the Cromwell. I used the Lorraine 40T for the T-55A and the Škoda T-25 in the Object 260 mission. So there's all the recommended tanks I could give you. So try to go for fast flanking, high rate of fire, medium tanks. So these tanks will puncture the engine block and hopefully the fuel tanks more reliably or constantly or quickly, I guess. But it's a wolf pack mission, so you have to flank around. You have to know the exact timing. But if you flank too early, you get killed. If you flank too late, there's no more health left. So timing is a big factor. But this mission really sucks. So do not be too hard on yourself. It's not for the weak of will. Alright? It does really suck. So good luck to you. May the odds always be in your favor. But this mission, it's at least, alright, in my opinion, this mission is a little bit better than, for example, set 2 enemy vehicles that's higher tiered with ammo racks. That's impossible because almost everybody trains in safe stowage if they can. So it's very hard to destroy the ammo rack, whereas nobody trains preventive maintenance on drivers, which gives health to the engine. So it's not like you can destroy the ammo rack as easy as destroying the engine. And destroying the engine means nothing towards the 10 to 15% chance to catch on fire. So basically, if you see a mission like destroy 2 higher tier enemy vehicles with ammo racks in a medium tank, that mission is insane. That's even harder than this mission. So this mission is... it sucks, but compared to the ammo rack mission, which doesn't exist, but if it did, it's a lot easier than that mission. So this mission sucks. Just try to get this over with. If you cannot, do not fret about it. It sucks. So but yeah, that's all the tips I can give you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
I